check, check, check.
All right, good evening, everyone. The July 9, 2026 meeting of the Medford Planning Commission will now come to order. Kaylee, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Rachel Bennett,
Here?
Larry Busco,
Here.
David Culbertson, Mark McKechnie,
Here.
EJ McManus,
Here.
Marcy Pierce,
Here.
Jared Pulver,
Here.
Jeff Thomas,
Here.
Jim Wallen.
Here.
Roll has been taken.
All right, we have a quorum. Tonight's agenda is available on the city's website for those watching from home. The order of business this evening will consist of consent calendar and written communications, minutes, public hearings, and reports. Item 20 is the consent calendar and written communications. Have the commissioners reviewed the consent calendar and written communication items? And are there any questions? If not, may I have a motion?
Chair, I move to adopt the consent calendar and written communications as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Callie, may we have a roll call, please?
Larry Busco,
Abstain. I wasn't at the meeting.
thank you. Mark McKechnie,
Abstain as well.
EJ McManus,
Yes.
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
Jeff Thomas,
Yes.
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
Rachel Bennett.
Yes.
We have 5 yeses and 2 abstentions.
All right, motion passes. Item 30 is the minutes. Have the commissioners reviewed the minutes from the Planning Commission meeting of June 25, 2026? And are there any additions or corrections to be noted? All right, minutes will stand as submitted. Item 40 is oral requests and communications from the audience. This is an opportunity for members of the audience to address the commission on matters that are not on today's agenda. If you wish to speak, please come forward to the podium, sign in, and tell us your name and your concern. Not seeing anyone in the audience, we'll move ahead. Tonight's public hearing will be conducted as quasi-judicial hearings. If you plan to testify, please listen carefully to the following prepared statement regarding the procedural rules that govern these hearings. The statement will be read by Mr. Alan Moreland, Deputy City Attorney.
I'm going to explain the rules that govern these hearings. Before the hearing begins, city staff will give a report. The report will list the criteria that govern the city's decision. After the staff report, the hearing will be open for other speakers. The applicant will first speak and may ask for rebuttal time. Following the applicant, any other interested person will be allowed to speak. Any testimony, argument, or evidence you give must relate to the criteria listed in the staff report or other criteria in the comprehensive plan or land use regulations that you believe apply to the decision. If you fail to raise an issue or do not give the commission sufficient information so that the commission and any party can respond, you will not be able to appeal that issue to the Land Use Board of Appeals. If you do not raise constitutional or other issues about any proposed condition with specificity so that the commission can respond to that issue, you will not be able to bring a court action for damages. Before the hearing is closed, anyone who needs more time to present evidence must ask for more time. If you ask, the hearing will be continued or the record will be kept open and you will have at least 7 days to present additional written evidence.
All right, in order to proceed through this evening's agenda in a timely manner, except at the Commission's request, applicants giving testimony tonight will be given 10 minutes to present their application. Individuals who have comments about the application will be given 3 minutes, or 5 minutes if representing a group or organization, and 5 minutes will be given to the applicant for rebuttal. Agenda item 50.1, LDS-26-100, consideration of a tentative plat approval for the Owen Drive subdivision, a proposed 21-lot subdivision, 12 duplex lots, 4 townhouse lots, 1 triplex lot, 1 reserve acreage lot, 1 lot to serve as open space and a stormwater facility, and 2 multifamily lots, to be developed in 2 phases. The subdivision is contained with 2 contiguous parcels totaling approximately 37.7 acres. The subdivision is proposed to be located within phases 1 and 2 of a larger 3-phase multifamily development, which has been submitted for concurrent review to the Site Plan and Architectural Commission as AC-26-101. The overall site consists of 3 vacant parcels totaling approximately 52.34 acres, located north of Owen Drive and east of Springbrook Road. The parcels are zoned MFR 20, SFR 10, Service Commercial and Professional Office, Community Commercial, and includes a restrictive zoning administrative mapping overlay. The applicant is Creations Northwest LLC. The agent is also Creations Northwest LLC. Planner is Dustin Severs. The applicant has requested to continue this item to the July 23, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. If there are members in the audience that have come to testify on this agenda item, please come forward and the Planning Commission will hear your testimony at this time. Please keep in mind your questions may be answered at the July 23, 2026 meeting. There will not be any decisions made this evening on this agenda item. Seeing no members of the audience wish to testify, can I have a motion to continue, please?
Chair, I move to continue LDS-26-100 to the July 23rd, 2026 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Dueling seconds. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Kaylee, we may have a roll call, please.
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
EJ McManus,
Yes.
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
Larry Besco,
Yes.
Mark McKechnie,
Yes.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
Jeff Thomas,
Yes.
Rachel Bennett.
Yes.
We have 7 yeses.
Motion passes. Item 50.2, ZC-26-164, proposal for a zone change from light industrial to heavy commercial of 5 contiguous parcels totaling approximately 10.5 acres and located within the Coker Butte Business Park planned unit development. The parcels are fronted by Crater Lake Highway along their western boundary, Coker Butte Road along their southern boundary, and Crater Lake Avenue along their eastern boundary. The parcels are zoned light industrial and include a restricted zoning administrative mapping overlay. Applicant is Coker Butte Properties LLC and Martin Farm Company LLC. Agent is CSA Planning Limited. Planner is Dustin Severs. Does any commissioner have any conflict of interest or ex parte contact to disclose regarding this application? Does anyone in attendance wish to question the commission as to conflicts of interest or ex parte contacts? Seeing none, may we have a staff report?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. Dustin Severs with the Planning Department. In our first public hearing, we have a zone change for the Coker Butte Business Park PUD. Start looking at our legal requirements so the criteria for a zone change are found in section 10.2042 of the Land Development Code and as summarized on the screen before you. Looking at our project summary. So the site consists of 5 contiguous parcels. They total approximately 10.5 acres. As you can see, they have 3 street frontages. You have Crater Lake Highway to the west. You have Coker Butte Road along the south. And on the east, you have Crater Lake Avenue. These are all higher order streets. Looking at our surrounding area, the property, the 5 subject parcels are currently vacant. We have had some actions up here recently. Site Plan Architectural Commission approved a 7-Eleven, which is currently being constructed, but it's probably pretty close to being complete at this point. And also last year, the Site Plan Architectural Commission approved the first development within the Coker Butte Business Park, and that is a Tractor Supply. They have their building permits. I believe they're doing kind of their flat work now. I don't believe any vertical construction has began, but should be seeing that new development pretty soon. Here's an image of the site looking northeast from Coker Butte. And as you see the aerial image, all the infrastructure is put in. So in addition to the PUD, they were approved for a subdivision called the PNW Park Subdivision. They have final plat, so the roads are in, sidewalks are in, a lot of your utilities, the stormwater facilities are in, so they are ready to go with their commercial developments. Site's general land use plan designation is commercial, and its zoning is light industrial, which is not compatible with this commercial GLUP designation, which is one of the reasons they're applying for the zone change. Once again, the property is within the Coker Butte Business Park PUD, and it also includes a restricted zoning. That is a trip cap that was established originally in 2008 with their zone change, and there were some modifications that TIAs throughout the PUDs over the years. And just to be clear, the PUD also includes 3 additional parcels, 1 to the south and the 2 to the east. However, these are all already zoned appropriately. So this only is the 5 parcels that are proposed to change to heavy commercial. All right, so the sites, they're proposing to change the 5 parcels from light industrial to heavy commercial. And I'll move on to our issues and analysis. So, long history on this one. It was originally annexed, or all the parcels are finally brought in 2006. Went through a GLUP change, went through zone changes when we established the trip cap with the TIA. We also had a GLUP change, and finally we had the preliminary PUD plan was approved in 2017. Since that time, there's been 4 revisions, I believe 1 major or 2 majors and a couple minor changes. And as stated before, we did also had the PNW subdivision was approved and has been finalized. And now they're looking to change the zoning. So the reason for the zone change, I'll allow the applicant to speak further to this, but so the zoning isn't compatible with the original PUD approval. They were allowed to remain as light industrial. I think at the time they anticipate they want to have like industrial uses. So they are limited to the type of uses that are allowed there with the original PUD, and they also have an instance where if a use isn't allowed in the zoning and is within 200 feet, they have to go through a CUP. So by bringing the zoning into compliance with the GLUB, it's going to provide them a lot more flexibility on what they can do there in a much simpler process to get there. And I believe they've kind of changed what they anticipate is going to be going there. Obviously, the first development was a commercial development, the Tractor Supply Company. Per the comprehensive plan, the commercial GLUP allows for the full spectrum of all our commercial zones, including the heavy commercial zone. And once again, the applicant is looking to change to the heavy commercial zone, which is allowed in that area. No traffic impact analysis required. Again, there's already a TIA that was approved. A trip cap was established at 415 p.m. peak hour trips. They're required to provide a trip accounting with each new development that comes in with the PUD. So a trip accounting was provided with the Tractor Supply that just got approved through SPAC last year. And that's about it. So I'll move on to our findings and recommendation. The commission can find all 3 of our criteria are satisfied. Utilities are pretty much already there. So type A facilities are good to go. They meet all our locational criteria for a change of zone to heavy commercial, and a new TIA was not required. So with that, we ask you to adopt the finding as recommended by staff. We ask you to direct staff to prepare a final order of approval for ZZ 26-164. That's for the staff report dated July 2nd, 2026, and includes exhibits A through Q. With that, I can take questions. We also have Mr. Jay Harlan from CSA, who's representing the applicant. And if you have any questions regarding the TIA, I will be punting over to Mr. Doug Burrows of the Public Works Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin. Does the commission have any questions for staff? All right, I guess we're free for now, and we'll open up the public hearing. And may we please hear from the applicant's agent.
Good evening, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Jay Harlan with CSA Planning, an AKS company with offices at 4497 Brown Ridge here in Medford. I think Dustin did a good job presenting the criteria and the issues. Really, I think the bigger sort of backstory is that when the city was doing its UGB amendment, the first thing was the internal study areas, and so they looked at lands inside the city to redesignate to make land uses more efficient. This was one of the properties that was changed, but it wasn't rezoned because the PUD allows some flexibility of uses, and the initial tenant mix was thought to be more of like the commercial uses that are allowed in the light industrial and maybe some office and light industrial. Ultimately, with Tractor Supply going in there, it's just turning out to be a little bit more commercial is what the demand is. So the change makes sense, and it makes it a little bit easier to not have to really just keep track of the 20% not permitted in the zone, which can be a spreadsheet nightmare. So that's, I guess, the main reason for the amendment is to avoid having to do those spreadsheets and just do the uses that are contemplated by the comprehensive plan now. So I'm happy to answer any additional questions, and we would respectfully request your approval.
Does the commission have any questions? All right, nothing yet. Want to reserve rebuttal time? Fantastic. Just in case, someone could run in. Are there any persons in the audience that would like to speak regarding this application? If you wish to speak, please come forward to the podium, sign in legibly. If you have not already done so, tell us your name and address, and offer your testimony for consideration by the commission. All right. Seeing none. Staff, any additional comments?
None, thank you.
All right. Commission have any additional questions for staff or council? Our illustrious council.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm assuming no rebuttal testimony needed. I guess we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And is there a motion for consideration?
Chair, I move to adopt the findings as recommended by staff and direct staff to prepare the final order for approval of ZC-26-164 per the staff report dated July 2nd, 2026, including exhibits A through Q.
Thank you much. And is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion on this item? All right. Seeing none, Kaylee, may we have a roll call, please?
Mark McKechnie,
Yes.
Jeff Thomas,
Yes.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
Larry Busco,
Yes.
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
EJ McManus,
Yes.
Rachel Bennett.
Yes.
We have 7 yeses.
All right, motion passes. Next item, 50.3 LDP-26-167 and ZC-26-168. Consideration of concurrent applications proposing a zone change and land division for a single 1.83 net acre or 2.25 gross acre tax lot, 371 W31CA TL 200 in southwest Medford. The zone change proposes to reclassify the site from SFR 6 to MFR 15, bringing the zoning into compliance with the existing urban medium-density residential comprehensive plan designation. The land division proposes to partition the tax lot into 2 parcels, a southern parcel of 0.59 acres containing the existing single-family home with accessory structures, and a northern parcel of 1.24 acres designated as reserve acreage for future development. The site is constrained by Crooked Creek and the riparian corridor overlay, which crosses the southern portion of the property. The applicant is Garfield LLC, agent is Scott Sinner Consulting, Inc., and the planner is Keegan Benson. Does any commissioner have any conflict of interest or ex parte contact to disclose regarding this application?
Well, as everybody is very familiar with it by this time, Mr. Sinner is my next door neighbor, but I have no involvement in this project and it will not affect my voting.
All right, does anyone in attendance wish to question the commission as to conflicts of interest or ex parte contacts? Fantastic. May we have a staff report, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Keegan Benson with the Planning Department. I'll be presenting on the aforementioned zone change and land division partition. To start, I will review the Commission's authority and the applicable approval criteria as specified in the code. The zone change approval authority is designated at MLDC 10.110 subsection 4. Zone change is a type 3 quasi-judicial decision, and the Planning Commission is the approving authority. For a land division partition, that approval authority designation is found at MLDC 10.110 subsection 17. It's a type 2 administrative decision. Usually the planning director is the approving authority. The code allows the applicant to request that they be considered concurrently by the same approving authority, which in this case is the Planning Commission, and that's at MLDC 10.114. So this application will be reviewed for compliance with the following. For the zone change, the zone change approval criteria are at MLDC 10.204 subsection 2. And for the land division partition approval criteria, they are found at 10.170 subsection 4. We'll also, oh, that's not the right button there. There we are, thank you. We'll also be reviewing it for the reserve acreage standards and limitations and the conservation and maintenance of riparian corridors. Those were presented in the code in their entirety and in the staff report as well. Now on to the heart of the matter. The development site is one parcel, 1.83 net acres, 2.25 gross acres. The GLUP is UM, urban medium density. The zone is SFR6, single-family residential, 4 to 6 dwelling units per the gross acre. And it is overlaid by the riparian corridor, which you can see there in blue squiggly lines. So the proposal will be zone change and partition the tax lot into 2 parcels, and I'll get into more detail here in a second. First, we'll look at the surrounding site. To the north is the Jefferson Elementary School, SFR6. To the south is residential, SFR6, with some undeveloped service commercial. To the east is the Stewart Meadows Golf Course, and to the west is Jefferson School Park, and those are both SFR6 as well. So the proposal will be a zone change from SFR6 to MFR15. This would bring the property into consistency with the GLUP designation of UM. For the second part of the proposal, they want to split the tax lot into 2. The southern 0.59 net acre parcel, which will contain the existing single-family home and accessory structures, and then a northern 1.24 net acre parcel to be designated as reserve acreage, and that's intended for future development. For issues and analysis, first we'll look at the zone change. Zone change approval criteria. There are 2 primary criteria that would affect this decision. The first, that the proposed zone is consistent with the TSP and GLUP designation. MFR 15 is consistent with the GLUP of UM, and per the Public Works staff report, no TIA is required, no conditions pertaining to street capacity or access, and the commission can find that the criterion has been satisfied. For the second item, which is facility adequacy, that covers storm drainage, sanitary sewers, water facilities, and streets and access. Those were analyzed by Public Works and the Medford Water Commission. You'll find that in Exhibits F and H. And they found that the public facilities are adequate or can be made to be adequate with the conditions of approval contained in Exhibit A. And the commission can find this criterion has been satisfied as well. For the land division partition, first we'll look at the lot design standards. Reserve acreage has different standards than a regular lot, so that's why we have Table 1 and Table 2. And the commission can find that those lot design standards for lot area, minimum lot width and depth, and lot frontage have been met for both Parcel 1 and Parcel 2. The access standards, the site has frontage on both Garfield and Holly Street. The Public Works staff report, in order to comply with MLDC 10.550, no driveway access shall be allowed to Garfield Street, and as a condition of approval, prior to approval of the final plat, the existing driveway on Garfield shall be removed. Next, we will look at the applicable criteria for the tentative plat partition. First is that it's consistent with the comprehensive plan, any other area plans, and the design standards we just looked at. The commission can find that that has been met. The proposal is consistent. Will not prevent development of the remainder of the property under the same ownership. It meets. That proposed partition will not prevent development of the remainder of the property. Next, we will take a look at the reserve acreage standards. I'll take a second to explain. Reserve acreage is a tool that allows for dividing property into manageable sizes for development proposals, and the applicable criteria for that are found at 10.202 subsection 7. It's actually in the subdivision section, but these are presented on the screen, and we'll go through them briefly. First are the special design standards. Resulting reserve acreage parcels must be a minimum of twice the maximum lot area and twice the minimum lot depth or width. We saw that in that Table 2 in the previous slide. This proposal is consistent. Next, reserve acreage parcels need to be labeled as such on the tentative and final plat. I'll take a second. At some point in the revisions, that reserve acreage dropped off of the tentative plat. Mr. Burrows of Public Works pointed that out to me. Scott got back to me with an updated tentative plat, and we'll be including that as Exhibit E1 in a commission report to follow. Excuse me, I'll say the commission can find that that's been met. For reserve acreage, a conceptual plan is required to be submitted. This was done in the applicant's findings of fact, Exhibit C, and we see that up on the screen. It's just a simple conceptual development plan for multifamily development of that parcel too. Next, no new vertical construction shall occur on reserve acreage prior to final plat approval, and we can ensure this with conditions of approval listed in Exhibit A. Have received approval of city zoning other than SFR 00 that matches the underlying general land use plan designation. That's pending approval of the zone change we examined earlier. Approval of that would ensure compliance with this criterion. And finally, has received final plat approval per section 10.162, and we can ensure this with conditions of approval listed in Exhibit A. So we will look at facility adequacy. This is analyzed by Public Works and Medford Water Commission. I'll take a second here to point out in the Public Works report, a summary of the conditions of approval for the land partition is on page 7 of that Exhibit G, and they include dedication of easements, removal of the existing driveway on Garfield Street, and storm drainage conditions tied to future development. For Medford Water Commission, they stated they have no objections to the requested partition, but they do have within their conditions of approval a request for information about backflow device, and this is captured in the conditions of approval, Exhibit A. We'll look briefly at the riparian corridor. See on the screen, the stream comes in, that's the top of bank, and now we'll get the riparian corridor overlay. You can see this mostly affects, or only affects, the southern part of the site. We'll turn that so it's facing the correct directions there. Another consideration with this riparian corridor, MLDC 10.928 states that when approving applications for a land division, the approving authority shall assure long-term conservation and maintenance of the corridor through one of the following methods. The first method there is the one that is likely most appropriate for this, a small lot, single landowner, already built single-family residence, and it is the one that the applicant would prefer as well. Take a quick look. Because of the floodplain, the city's floodplain manager, Liz Hamblin, prepared a memorandum. This map we see on the screen is from that memorandum. In there, Ms. Hamblin concluded that the project doesn't encroach into the flood hazard area, doesn't require a floodplain development permit, and there's sufficient evidence to support approval of the land partition and the zone change. And she recommended approval with certain conditions specified prior to any ground disturbance and/or development within these special flood hazard areas. So, findings and conclusion. Quick recap, went over applicable criteria for the zone change, the partition tentative plat, reserve acreage, conservation and maintenance of riparian corridors. Staff's recommendation, the commission adopt the findings as recommended by staff and direct staff to prepare the final order for approval of ZC 26168 and LDP 26167 per the staff report dated July 2nd, 2026, including Exhibits A through J, including E1. Thank you, and if there are any questions.
Any questions of staff at this point? Commissioner Pulver.
Okay, can I have a couple, and I hope they're okay. If they're off base, you can let me know. Any history on how the GLUP came to be there, like just with all the, okay, Mr. Center wants to take a shot at that, so if you don't know, he can
We'll
fill
punt
that.
to Mr. Center then.
Okay. And then this one's a little random too, but with the lot that will have the existing house on it, I guess the thing that crossed my mind is with it getting then MFR 15 zoning, I wanted to make sure that didn't like create any undue or unforeseen burden for the homeowner if they were to make modifications, et cetera, like just because it's, I think it would be difficult to get that density on there anyway, given some of the hurdles of the property, but given that there's an existing structure, is the grandfathering pretty broad, I guess, is maybe the question I'm really looking for.
That's a semi-complicated question. There'd be a continuing non-conformance that would enable them to do some activities, but there could be certain land use reviews that it would cause an issue not being consistent with the GLUB.
All right.
That sound right, Kelly?
Yeah.
I mean, hard to know. Hard to know. I mean, it's a kind of a Pandora's box,
Very
maybe.
speculative.
I would be more concerned with the impacts of the riparian corridor on the property than the non-conforming status of the property.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see if the applicant's agent can fill in some of these blanks. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing, and may we please hear from the applicant's agent.
Good evening, I'm Scott Center Consulting, Inc., 4401 San Juan Drive, Suite G, Medford 97504. The reason we're here with the zone change is this was also part of the internal review process, and it was intensified from the GLUP UR to medium multifamily. And so in order to do any land use application, you must be consistent with the GLUP and the comprehensive plan, and this zone change will bring that into compliance. I would be much more concerned with the effect of the floodplains, flood zones, and riparian corridor for development on the house parcel 1. There's, we've reviewed the conditions of approval for the conservation easement. He's reluctantly agreeing to close off that driveway on Garfield, but we understand that's a condition. As far as the reserve acreage, this is a proposal that could potentially come back to you guys. Reserve acreage is a holding pattern to allow for future development, and that future development will be either a site plan review or a land division, and that gives the city the opportunity to apply conditions of approval that would be more relevant to the specific project. And so with that, I think the staff report was a great staff report. He was very thorough, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any. And absolutely, I'm reserving time for rebuttal. There's no question.
Very proactive. Does the commission have any questions?
Yep, I do. Hi,
Commissioner
Scott.
McCartney.
So, like Mr. Pulver echoed, I'm a little concerned, well, more than a little, a lot concerned about the lot in the corner. According to, if it moves up to SFR 15 without the creek, it seems to me it would be hard to develop that to MFR 15 standards.
And I don't think there's any development potential on the property at all.
Yeah,
And
so is there a reason that we have to make that one MFR 15?
It would be required to be consistent with the general land use plan map, the comprehensive plan, to move forward with the partition.
I see. So the only other choice would be to also submit a change in the GLUP.
A comp plan amendment, right?
Yeah, okay. All right, actually, so Kelly, because I know we've run across this and others, and I'm sorry to ask you the question, but aren't there some limitations on improvements to non-conforming uses in a zone?
There are, but there are provisions, especially for residential developments in, that are non-conforming. There's some carve-outs that makes it.
There would be some flexibility if the guy wanted to add a family room or a basketball court or something.
Yes, but again.
Indoor basketball court.
Yeah, but the environmental limitations are much more restrictive here than the
Than the zoning
non-conforming
requirements.
status. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw from the flood zone that it doesn't look like there's much land left over.
Not a lot of
And-
room there.
And we also, designed the plat the way we did to leave, there's just a very small area on parcel 2 that would be impacted, and that's where we're showing our driveway for some kind of conceptual development.
Yeah.
So, the parcel one is built out, and I see very little opportunities for intensification at all. And so it's just a non-conforming.
Yeah.
And then we tried to keep, I think this is going to be a nice little multifamily development with the golf course on one side and the park on the other side. So I believe it'll be for sale, but I mean, that's up to you guys.
Oh, now don't you go trying to show for the property.
Always selling. Any other questions?
Commissioner Pesco.
Scott, I was just going to ask you, do you happen to know when that house, that the existing house that's on that property was constructed?
I believe it was the 40s.
And then if that, okay, so that's a piece of time. And is there any record that that house has been flooded in the past?
Not that I'm aware of, but it is protected by flood insurance.
Okay, all right. All right, I just curious. So it's been around about over 75 years and it hasn't had any, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'll toss one in, and this maybe is a bit of a stretch. Understanding that there are constraints if the partition is approved to that southern parcel as a result of the rezoning and the riparian corridor overlay. I understand there are not development plans or improvement plans for that southern parcel at this time or in the near future, and the applicant understands these constraints?
Yes.
Okay. that's
And
enough for me.
conditions of approval.
Wonderful. That's all I've got. Reserving rebuttal time. correct?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Thank you. And I
All
request
right.
your approval.
Thank you. Are there any persons in the audience that would like to speak regarding this application? Does not appear so. Are there any other persons in the audience? No, we're good. Staff, any additional comments?
I wanted to point out on the screen here on that left-hand side, the blue is the base flood elevation, so the 100-year floodplain, and then the orange is the 500-year floodplain. And the partition will go across right where that dark line is at. So just to give you an idea of how little the northern parcel is affected by that floodplain.
So Kagan, just to be clear then, it looks like the partition is actually on the north side of the creek as opposed to down the middle.
Yes, it's going to be about right where this line is here, if you can.
I'm not seeing.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah. Right there.
Oh, right in there, okay.
Yeah, there's a little, it's hidden by trees, but there's a little barn right here, and that's what's right here on the.
Ah,
Right about.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Does the commission have any additional questions for staff or council? All right. I assume no rebuttal time is needed for the applicant. So we will go ahead, close the public hearing, and is there a motion for consideration?
Chair, I move to adopt the findings as recommended by staff and direct staff to prepare the final order for approval of LDP-26-167 and ZC-26-168 per the staff report dated July 2nd, 2026, including exhibits A through J, including exhibit E1.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second?
All right. Is there any discussion? All right. Commissioner McKechnie, or no? This is just ready for the vote?
Ready for the vote.
Wonderful. All right, Kaylee, may we have a roll call, please?
Move this along.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
EJ McManus,
Yes.
Mark McKechnie,
Yes.
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
Jeff Thomas,
Yes.
Larry Busco,
Yes.
Rachel Bennett.
Yes.
We have 7 yeses.
Wonderful. Motion passes. And that concludes tonight's public hearings. So we'll move on to item 60, presentation of reports, 60.1, Transportation Commission.
Our, might have happened at last meeting, but our June meeting was canceled. One thing I was thinking about, though, and I don't know if this is a Doug question, a Kelly question, a Carly question, maybe everybody, but I know the update to the TSP is sort of a substantial thing that I thought we had some sort of timelines associated with. I know that there's probably some depth in in that department, maybe, but that was kind of in Carl's court, so I don't know who's picking that up. But anyway, my recollection was that there was some deadlines that we had to get that done or get that moving before a certain time. So I just heightened awareness to that, I guess.
All right, Site Plan and Architectural Commission, Commissioner Thomas?
Thank you. We did the Medford Heights thing again, and we're hoping to do it again next meeting as well. But I think we're done now. But we approved, the commission put a condition of extending the sidewalk not as far as we originally thought, but we did get some on that. And then we also required that they take care of utilities that go across the property. So anybody's utilities that are there either get an easement or get it connected to the main stub, so they're not going to be out on that. But I think that we came up with a good solution, so hopefully the project will go well.
All right. Next up, Planning Department. Ms. Aiken, it's yours.
All right, well, thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. I am Kelly Aiken, still with your Planning Department. So a couple things for you. Last meeting, I told you that we'd have a study session on Monday. We're canceling that, so we will not have a study session on the 13th. The only item that's on there is a really very simple code amendment. It's I think I've talked about it a little bit. It's changing the appeal procedure a little bit so we can allow a special meeting for appeals. So didn't seem right to waste your time on that. But it will be on your next, your agenda for the 23rd. Glad that you mentioned the upcoming TSP work. We are working on developing an agenda for the September 30th joint session between Planning Commission and City Council again. So a couple carryovers, or one carryover from the last bout of ideas was talking about multifamily uses and development in the commercial zones. So that's back on our list. We do want to talk a little bit about the upcoming TSP work. You're correct, Commissioner Pulver. I think it has to be adopted by next December. I think it's December of 2027. I don't recall if that's correct. You know, Doug? Yeah, it's a very tight deadline for something that big. And you know, there's some work. We just did the TSAP that was adopted, I don't know, a month or 6 weeks ago now. And that's related to the TSP work. The state's has a big focus on bike and pedestrian facilities that will need to be addressed through the TSP. So we want to be sure that the Planning Commission and the City Council are both aware that there are some things that have to be included that may not have had to be included before. So that, also we want to continue to give updates on the progress that we're making on the Downtown 2040 plan. So we'll have a couple update things for you there. Something else that's floating around in the planning world and the development world generally is data centers. The code actually allows them in the city of Medford, and that's something that we think we should talk about a little bit and kind of strategize on what that could look like here. So those are the 4 things that we have on our list at this point on at staff. So if you have ideas, I've kind of gone through our last few discussions to see if there were any other things that had come up that y'all might want to talk about with the council. So if you think of anything, please let me know, and I'll keep this on the agenda so we can keep talking about it. It's September 30th is the session. Otherwise, let's see. We have business for your next 3 meetings. So July 23rd is your next meeting. I think we have 4 items scheduled. And then August 13 and August 27. So your next 3 meetings, we have business on your regular meetings. I haven't really had anything substantive. I haven't actually had anything at all in July up at council, which is kind of nice. Following up with Commissioner Thomas's update on Medford Heights, I expect that the neighbors will appeal that decision. So we might have something in August. We'll know the deadline is next week. It's on the 14th, so more to come on that one as well. And I think that's all that I have for you, unless you have questions for me. Nope. Off easy tonight. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. Item 70, message and papers from the chair. I have none. Item 80, city attorney remarks.
None?
Item 90, propositions and remarks from the commission. Item 100, adjournment. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.